Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is going to be a little bit different than my other recent content. I'm trying to help with my subscriber growth. It's gotten kind of stuck over the last month, so I'm going to try something slightly different to get some new viewers. They try to get me to the push to 500 subscribers and to 1,000 with giveaways at both goals. So what I'm going to try to do is a 5-minute movie review, recap, thoughts. And I'm going to start with something nostalgic to me, something that started when I was growing up, and we'll just talk about that. So recently, I rewatched the 4 American Pie movies, the main movies of the main cast, not the spin-offs, though I'll probably do videos with those movies as well. But these first 2 movies came out when I was a teenager, and I could relate to them as an awkward horndog teen. And so rewatching them in 2023 with modern sensibilities, it is amazing how much of society accepted the objectification of women and the lack of consent as a normal thing. And that was all seen as funny and light and whatever. And now it's just kind of downright creepy and criminal. And so I'm going to assume that you have seen the movie, so I'm not going to be doing like in-depth recaps or explaining the characters very heavily, as like I said, I'm trying to keep this within 5 minutes. The first movie is probably the best in my opinion, even though plenty of fans will disagree and say that the second one is. But to me, the first one captures that weird teen feeling that was being a 90s teen with like the explosion of technology and everything that is being a millennial in the pre-cell phone era. The plot follows 4 friends and whatever Stifler is to them as they try to lose their virginity before the end of the school year, which is only 3 weeks away. In some ways, this leads to great pacing. It doesn't feel like they're trying to explain this whole year or this long stretch of time, and no scene really overstays its welcome. Plot points move quickly, and they are not trying to stuff as many jokes as possible in. And so we very quickly to get to one of the most memorable scenes in the movie, where they explain what a MILF is, and the plot proceeds to where each one of the guys is in a different situation where they're trying to find their date for prom, or in Kevin's role, he's trying to make it up to Vicky so that she'll want to have sex with him at prom. And the fact that it's only in a 3-week period does really help for this because you just move pace rather than like trying to drag out every little bit into new things and talking over of trying to make every scene have a bunch of jokes stacked or whatever. So the pace is a lot more rapid than I remember. And so we're setting up the big scene with Nadia coming over to Jim's for studying. In some way, this scene is very 90s. You're just entering the internet age, and streaming video is not a common thing. And I am really not sure the setup would even actually work with the technology of the time, being in the age of dial-up internet. Also, the situation is very non-consensual and massive perv stuff. So that being said, the school does focus on Jim and his pre-ejaculation rather than shaming Nadia, which is actually a pretty good thing for the era. The other positive sex scene in the movie is when Kevin is trying to give Vicky an orgasm, and both the fact that he is doing it and the fact that when her dad goes up to her room to get her for dinner, he just ignores it and walks away instead of shaming them, and he just goes away. So in some ways, this movie had some very sex-positive things, and then there's some spots where it's very reductive and very old school, misogynistic kind of take advantage of women kind of stuff. And the storyline with Oz was kind of weird because he somehow joins the school choir with a month left in school and gets a duet, which is not realistic at all. But at least he learns how to treat Heather well, and he doesn't push her for sex. But everyone else in the group has the sex at the end of the movie and accomplishes their goal. The other thing that I liked about this movie is the music in the movie is very good. And this is a time when movies didn't really have a lot of popular music due to the cost of licensing. But somehow here they picked a great mix of songs that were both popular at the time and are still nostalgic today. So maybe this movie helped cement those songs' popularity. So overall, I think the movie is fine for what it is. It holds up okay, I guess. Like, so in short, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch this movie again. And maybe in 10 years I'll want to revisit again and see how it looks as I age. But as somebody who was the age of these characters at the time, a few years younger than them, it really does affect my viewpoint of like what this movie is. Like, I remember seeing this movie for the first time. Like, it has like a lot of things in my past. Anyway, that is it for this first movie review. I'm trying to keep these short. In the next one, I'll cover American Pie 2. Thanks for watching.